Okay, so another tutorial. Let's get started then. This tutorial I'm gonna go over ball sockets. Continuing with my physics-oriented tutorials lately. Why not? Showing off a lot during Half-Life 2, so let's show off the physics engine some more. What I'm gonna do here is make the wobbly floor from my wobbly floor map, and depending on time, I might just hang a ragdoll by its neck and show you how to do that as well. So let's get started and maximize some time here. Let's get the no draw texture up and draw a block in the middle of the map. Well, brush actually. Block. Okay. And lower the grid size. That's good. Actually, let's do this and shift right click to apply the texture all the way around. Actually, I should probably go for a different texture that'll stand out a little more. So, no, not that one. Aha! There we go. The thing brightening your face. Awesome. Next up, let's tie this to what entity do I want? Fizzbox. That's right. I'd show you how this looks in the actual map, but for some weird reason, Hammer is not performing as well as it should for that specific map. I have maps that are a whole lot larger than that, and Hammer runs fine in them. Well, fine being a relative term. Okay, so let's get a static in here. Prop static. It's going to be a little base for us to put it on, but don't worry about it, just cosmetic. Okay. And piston column. Okay, this is going to be fun. Fighting the prop I was using is going to be interesting. Okay, no, piston. Aha! That looks familiar. And the mid, I think. It'll do. Right. Let's move that origin up, shall we? I'm going to drop it down a bit. I'm not going to bother making it perfect. And as I'm saying that, I'm trying to make it perfect, right? No. That's good. Next up, time for the meat and potatoes of this thing. The ball socket. Over here, we have fizz ball socket. And go ahead, just click anywhere, put it in the map. We're going to orient it later. Now, let's open it up and actually click on the fizz box we just made, give it a name. Box. No, platform. Audio may be out of sync with this video. I'm still getting my timing right. I didn't really count the seconds this time. I have 3 seconds of pause usually before Afterburner kicks in, but I wasn't counting. Anyways, entity 1 is going to be the platform. Next up, I'm going to move this to the center, more or less. Actually, the center of this object's over there, so let's move this prop over and it's the ball socket and put it in the center as well. This may take a little finessing, because in the wobbly in the wobbly floor map, I have the ball socket a bit lower. That way, when the platform moves around, oh, that's not what I wanted. Blur. This will clip into here, so by offsetting it, it won't clip in. Of course, if you go underneath, it might not look all that great. So. May take some tweaking so you get just enough penetration of this into the prop, so that way it doesn't look off when it moves around. Now, open up the Fizzbox properties, go to Flags, and have it start asleep. Okay. Now, I'm going to go ahead and clone this platform over, drag it through, and hit Control-T to tie it to an entity again. And this time, I'm going to create a new entity, so say no. Func detail. Great. This is just going to be a little platform for me to walk out and hop on top of. This. Woo! Rambling like a madman. Okay, and just because I want it to look a little different. Ooh, right, I should tie this to an entity. Oh, it already is. Awesome. Oh, that should have been a big giveaway right there. Okay. So now when I hop on top of this, it'll start moving, but until I do, or until some physics interaction hits it, it should stay perfectly still. Let's go ahead and compile. Don't need to run rad. Rad! Come on. Preparing to launch. Portal 2. Yeah. Steam. Another thing that gets me, if you exit Steam, you can't force it that quit. You can click OK in the dialog that says syncing with Valve servers, but you cannot click the force quit or whatever it says on that dialog. It's always disabled. I don't know why Valve bothered to put that dialog in if all you can do is say, oh, okay. Which is the same thing as just not doing anything and letting it finish. Anyways, back to the tutorial while we wait for Portal 2 to respond. There we go, and load the map. There we go. So as you can see, this is perfectly still, and I'm getting 250 FPS. Awesome. And if I hop on it, it's starting to move. Yeah. That doesn't look that bad, except, like I said, when you go underneath. So, let's hop back. You can do with the Ballsocket. Well, you can make a break and stuff. Let's see here. Start inactive if you want it to. If you want to enable it only after something reaches a trigger or whatnot. Pretty much self-explanatory. So I'm not going to do that. Change mass to keep stable attachment to a world. That one's a weird one option. Sometimes it's required for if you did the rope tutorial and you had something really heavy that fought against the constraint system. That might be something you want to check mark, just to make sure the system doesn't break. Okay, and since it was a pretty dull tutorial, yeah, what I'm going to do then is bump up the mass on this platform so you can see what happens. So I want to go nuts and multiply the mass by 100. Oh, that was terrible. I need practice. Compile that. It's going to throw an error. Game currently unavailable. They still have not fixed the hijack parameter. Annoying. And okay. Hop on top of this. Notice it's not as quick on the draw out there, and it's very stiff. Very hard for the player to move. In the Wobbly floor map, I had to mess with the mass scale to kind of slow it down and make it work a little better. It wasn't perfect, but it did its job. So there's that. And since we have some time, I'm going to hang a ragdoll from a noose. Do that, get another Ballsocket. So I'll go to put it at the top of the map. Very top, why not? Put it in the center. Just, well, actually off to the side, that way it doesn't blend in when you look at the top view. Okay. Now I'm going to add a prop ragdoll. Whoops. Right here, prop ragdoll. Drag it in alignment, and let's bring it all the way down to, say, here. No, I'm going to bring it up about halfway between them, that way I have some space and doesn't accidentally trigger the, or wake the platform we had down there. So, open the properties by either double-clicking or hitting Alt-Enter, or going to somewhere up here. Yeah, there you go, edit properties. I don't use the menu system very much anymore, except for hollowing stuff out. Ooh, hollow. No. Now, what I'm going to do is browse for dummy, I believe. Nope, not done. Mail. Aha! Bought mail. Okay. Now let's give it a name. I'm going to call it Dummy, just because that's what came to mind. Let's turn him around. Entity 1. Dummy. And I give myself a portal gun. Weapon paint gun. I don't know why they left that in the GCF, the FGD. I don't know why they left that in there. It doesn't do anything. Alright. I should really just not have it run the game afterward. Int info. Weapon. Paint gun. No such entity. Ballsocket tutorial. And that's kind of it, actually. So let's create a cube right here. Turn on no clip. It's really high up, so you can't really interact with it. So instead of doing all this no clip nonsense, I'm going to take this, drag it over, and drop this sucker all the way down. Sucker? Why does he? Never mind. All the way down here. As I said in the previous tutorial, where I hung some ropes up on it, the ropes themselves are just cosmetic. They don't do much. You can have them flow in the wind and they'll physically interact with that, but they don't constrain anything. Oh, excellent. So I see here. Ooh, I don't think I made them solid. But as you saw, if you rewind the video and go frame by frame, you can see how he dangled a little bit before the physics engine said, okay, no more physical stimulation, so you're not going to simulate anymore. There we go. See, now he's just hanging around. So what I'm going to do then is add the rope. This is pretty much the same as in the previous tutorial. You create a move rope at the top. So we go all the way up here and create one. Then I'm going to leave it out so it's easy to select later on. And you don't need to name this. Then create a keyframe rope. I like to put them at the bottom on the feet, but don't really have to. You could stick it up the crotch, torso, core. Core could work. Okay, and set this guy's parent to dummy. Whoops. Let's hope I press the button first. Okay, now name this keyframe rope end. Camel case. If you program, you'll know what that means. If you don't program, slight chance. I don't know if you're seeing this, but Hammer is flashing the display, or the properties, and it didn't really work. Okay, going back up here. Next keyframe. Just paste the name in. You type it in, but drag it over to here. Another thing, if you have an artifact like this, how it's all bent, don't worry about it. It'll right there fix itself in due time. Okay, don't run the game after compiling. I really don't care. One less click and pop up. Oh, yep, down to the feet it is. I absolutely did not rehearse this. I spent the previous hour making playlists on YouTube because I had too many videos and it was getting cluttered. It'd be kind of nice if they decremented the upload count when you delete a video. There we are. So I had to drag it down a bit, because he had that little gap right there. I think it was, what, 32 units of gap between the end point and the rope. You can probably change the slack to do that, but it's alright. And there. Yeah, it's turning around, moving about. You could play with this to move the end of the keyframe rope up a little bit. That way it doesn't look like it's clipping through his neck and wobbling around like that, like so. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that and see how the current time. 15:41, roughly. Okay. So let's see here. I'm on grid 8, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that should be 32 units. Of course, if the snap-on grid size is not reporting the number correctly, then I'm completely off. Oh, man. Hammer really needs some work. Okay, let's see if wireframe. Show it. That's not bad. Looks like it's in his forehead. Oh, no, at the very top of the cranium. The skull. So that's not bad, actually. There you have it. Turn off wireframe mode. Now you have this. Yes, it just went through the roof of the map. Something falls on this platform, it physically simulates and then collapses. And that's a couple things you can do with Ballsockets. You can have things rotate about on them, and then fall around like I have in the Wobbly floor map, or you can hang stuff off them like this, and if you were so inclined, you could actually, I don't know, take a brush, a long brush, stick it on the top and have it bat around. But that's for another time. And now I gotta figure out why my processing. Yeah, there we go. So just the game. 4 cores, no VRAD, and I'm still multi-core rendering, but I don't have any particles. Well, default particles. So that's the tutorial. Very basic, very quick. If you cut out all my ramblings and whatnot, tangents. So, with that, I'm going to hope that hitting the key combo will disable recording. And if you have any questions about this, let me know. You can post a comment, send me a PM, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Alrighty, goodbye.